Morning all, that's it, it's done. The servers are down. This is the last game. This is the last boat to wherever we're going. So so just quick message before we kick into the video, the last Dust Live video. Looking to sell a PS3 and Halparg box. Couple of controllers, most of them broken, headset massively smashed, and hopes and dreams and hearts of a generation. There we go. Yeah, it's sad times. That's it. It's done. I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope you used up your officer gear, because the secret has always been actually everything's transferring across, and this was a way to get rid of all your gear and your ISK. Lol. No, I'm kidding. Don't worry. That would be pretty funny if it was, but I don't think CCP even understand the concept of trolling, and there we go. So let's do a bit of a review. It's been fun. It's been a laugh. I think they've done a huge amount of good stuff with this crappy engine. I think they made the game pretty good. It's amazing how much you can polish a turd. I'm kidding. That's rude. I'm joking. This game, I think, is one of the best games I've played. And I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you why. When you compare it from a graphical, gameplay, everything point of view, there's no reason why this game should be so in my mind and popular and available to me to play. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I suspect it could be my love of Eve. I honestly don't know. Either way, it's over now, and I think it's been a good time. There was lots of things. So we decided that the last match should be one where we just become massive dickbags and remind everybody that it's not so bad the game's gone. So we decided to do what we hate, which is we got up on high with mass drivers and basically annoyed people. So I think this is a good kind of anti-video to get you just reminding why it's not a bad thing the game's gone. Things need to move so change can happen. I do firmly believe that. So there we go. It's amazing how quickly May the 30th came round, I must admit. I can't believe we're already almost halfway through the year of 2016. Where the hell did that go? That shows you that working is generally bad for you, but there we go. Need the money. But I think it's been an interesting time, really, because not a lot really changed in the game, probably since, I think, Uprising, to be quite honest with you. I mean, let's face it, nothing did, really, did it? I mean, other than tweaking and poking and prodding, not a great deal changed for the game. And look at me trying to move around the map. Isn't it terrible? Isn't it terrible? Can't even get up a ledge that's half my height. See, these are all things this is why the engine needs to be sacrificed to, the gods of the internet. It needs to be gone. And this is why, Nova is going to be hopefully a lot better. And particularly when you see things like how Doom handle free running and movement over obstacles, you realise this engine is pretty archaic. And this is why it's going to only be a good thing that the game changes to this new way of doing things. So I'm excited, I really am. And even if it takes 6 months, I don't mind. For me, I'm looking forward to my kind of enforced dormancy. I do it all the time anyway, right guys, right? Anyway, so I'm looking forward to just basically, playing a few games, having a bit of fun, but I can guarantee you when Nova comes out, we're going to hit it like, crazy, because I think there is still a lot of good story here. There's still a lot of good gun fighting to happen here. I still trust CCP to make a good shooter because they made this one pretty good. If you don't agree with that, then why the hell are you here? Seriously, you should just, move on, because there's plenty more games for you, my friend. I mean, Call of Duty Infinity is supposed to be pretty good. Seriously. And I don't think you should be here if you don't, want to play Nova. I think that's crazy. I mean, that is ridiculous. If you don't like CCP, then seriously, why are you still here? Seriously, what's going on? It's like, I played Eve forcibly for years, and I regret every minute of it. I'm doing you a favour by saying, if you think this is a good thing, Dust is dead, and you're not going to play Nova, then my friend, it has been fun talking to you through your ears, but I suspect we will probably be parting ways very soon, because I still have trust that CCP will pull it out of the bag. And I want, if anything, I really want more people to get behind the fact that we're going to have to form a bit of an action group to push this agenda with people, key players, if you like Hilmar and such, because I do think that they're quite content, if there's not the noise, to just ignore the problem. So for me, I think the best thing that can happen now is obviously the forums are staying, so that's a good thing. Not that I use them, but with the forums going, hopefully that means a particular kind of noisy element who talk about, can this be increased to 10%, not 5%, please? I'm going to piss off. And then it just becomes more about a game and a concept of a game, which, to be honest, was actually when the forums were at their best, was when the game was still forming. It was in the oven, the Dutch oven of creation, and it was being created by, the Icelanders and the Chinese, and they were making an interesting game. So that's where we're going back to, and to be honest, that's where I want to be. So there we go. Interesting stuff. I mean, for me, I had this theory that if they wanted to, they actually could still allow you to log into the game. Let's be clear of what they've probably done here. From a business point of view, they actually farm out the connections of 32 players or whatever to a third-party provider to then provide hosting, probably some form or another like a Cisco, and they're just providing the hosting agreement to then use their server space or whatever. I don't know, but either way, the actual bit that you log into in the quarters is Tranquility, so I am led to believe. So that's pretty interesting. I think that's pretty cool, as I get wiped out by a very angry man who dies. You got you gotta laugh at this game. Some people get so angry they fly a dropship on their own, all protoed up to quote, come deal with us. I love it. I love it so much. So if they just get 5% of that kind of passion from the Dust community into the new game, they've got a hit. A lot of it comes down to just make it a very good, solid shooter. And I think this is kind of all Doom is. Doom is actually not great, okay, in terms of anything terribly new, but it's a very competent shooter from the Doom side. So it's not, I'm not saying it's like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, where there were accurate guns and there was a kind of, or like Arma 2 or Arma 3, where there's a very accurate, physic model of guns. It's not like that at all. It's oh god, he's back again. Jeez, this guy has an issue with us. It's a different thing, really, where it's kind of like this guy's so funny, by the way. I love this guy. I want to send him ISK. I don't know, but it just makes me laugh that somebody's so angry that they're trying to get us off. And he got meleeed. Oh, the ultimate humiliation. Love it. I think if they just literally get that into the game, then that's good. And forget the models, forget the kind of accurate gun stuff. Just make it a fun shooter and you've got a laugh. I would suggest that one of the biggest things that shooters seem to be doing now, post in the comments if you agree with this, is that they're doing the much more parkour style movement. So, you're not just playing a super soldier who's impervious to bullets and monsters and demonic possession, etc. You're actually playing a very fast-moving human being, because the whole parkour thing. I mean, Assassin's Creed kind of did it first. I mean, tell me if I got that wrong. I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed did the fast-moving parkour-esque style movement in gameplay that pretty much is now in most games. Look at Titanfall, look at look at Doom particularly. You look at any game like that kind of ilk, they're definitely doing that kind of thing quite predominantly, because it's obviously something that people like. I mean, I like it. I think it works. It makes sense, particularly. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a long wait, but I suspect, this is just the part and parcel of particular, niche gaming, is that you have to wait for somebody to come along to actually make the game that you want. So in the meantime, post in the comments, tell me what you're going to be playing. I'm curious to know. I think I am on Steam. I never log in. I just realised I've been playing on Steam for about 6 months, and I actually have it to set so it doesn't log into the community. So I will fix that. Apologies for that. Yeah, so add me on Steam. It's just CeoPyrex, all one word. That's CeoPyrex, one word. And don't write the one word because you're not funny. And basically, yeah, let's just go and play stuff, because it's going to be a bit fluid now. And I've said with the channel in the last video, we're just going to see how it goes. For me, I would rather keep this a much more kind of Dust channel. So I think maybe when I get a spare moment here and there, I'll just do the odd video. I'll do a few sort of montages and stuff like that of this game. And I haven't actually done a Nova reaction video because I am such a shameless YouTube whore. What I might do is actually just give you my thoughts on Nova. Oh God, I'm getting back into it in a big way, aren't I? God help me. But I think either way, tell me what you're interested in seeing. I mean, if you want me to shut the hell up, I'll shut the hell up. But interesting stuff, you know. For me, it is the end of the game, and it's a sad thing. It's an interesting time, but I think it's going to be, and this match here particularly was a wonderful one to end on because there wasn't any lag. It was a hugely competitive fight. Yes, we were douches and doing what we were doing, but it was more to kind of cause a fight, if anything. So, you know, don't feel that we did it to win, because, I mean, seriously, I mean, winning, what's the point in winning in this game? It's been so long since winning was ever even a point. It's more about how good is the fight. Good fights, GF. So for me, I think you know, this was a really nice one to end it on, and if anything, let's just break it down. It epitomizes the issues that Dust had. So it had really lovely, clever, wonderful map design that was awful to play in, because, you know, these move tops and, you know, the inability to get up on high points without use of dropship, and then the ability to defend even if somebody tries that. It's a miracle that more people didn't quit this game when these issues came about. And it makes me smile, because it's like that's just one. If you look at then the texture pops, if you look at then the issues, you know, none of this is CCP's fault, really. It's more the community's fault in how they play, and I think it's probably more so the issue of the technology. And this is why, you know, I mean, PS3, God bless it, it's such an archaic system. I mean, it's old. I mean, it must be getting close to, like, what, a decade old? So for me, it doesn't make much sense to even try and carry on Dust. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's losing money, whatever, but, you know, even if it wasn't, I think the irony is that if they want to do something new, you kind of have to force the issue by losing what you had. So, you know, I know that's quite a maverick way to be, but, you know, I don't think they've got they've got less numbers than most. So, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 people a day probably log into this game. Still pretty healthy numbers, actually, when you look at it. But what it effectively means is that they have to probably force the issue by closing it down to then create something new. And my only kind of concern, I guess, would be that there is a seriousness from the EVE community, because for too long the EVE community generally don't like Dust. I think it's just a simple fact that it was on console, which is sad to me, because that's really not a good reason to not like a game. It really isn't. And I think, you know, I bought a console just to play Dust because I was a massive EVE fan when the game kicked off like 3 years ago. So for me, if they're not going to do that, if that's going to be their reason not to play it is because it's on console, then that's a pretty weak reason. But a fair one. You know, it is a fair one. You shouldn't have to buy a console to play a game. It's the whole reason with Valkyrie that I think I could never really work out, is that, you know, Valkyrie is not going to be massively successful because you've got to spend like £500 before you can even play the game. So, you know, if you're going to spend 500 quid on a game, you're going to want it to do more than just demo the technology. And I think, again, this is the issue of almost all VR games, like Adrift, certainly Valkyrie, is that they don't have much more than the wow factor. And I think that is a nightmare to then deal with, because I tried VR. I've tried VR quite a few times now, and I prefer the HTC Hive. So I think if I'm going to get one, that'd be the one that I get, because I don't know, I just liked it. You can move around the room and all that shit, and I know you can do that with Oculus as well, but for me the Hive just felt pretty nice. I liked it, you know, I was a bit of a fan. And I got a prolonged demo of it, which is like, you know, 20 minutes, I think it was, maybe 30 minutes. And, you know, there wasn't like a queue of people. It was like where I actually tried it, you know, and I was able to literally just, you know, kick the tires on it. And I thought it was brilliant. I really did like it. And I can see it being part of gaming moving forward. But I think until it's very affordable, and I'll give you an example, until they release PCs with or, you know, consoles with the module already attached, you know, or you buy a PS3 and you get a VR headset. No, you don't have to buy it, it's there. It's not going to be successful, because peripherals are always going to be a limiter of success. You know, having to buy this to play that is not going to be a good place. So it's funny, because I think people were saying, you know, Nova should be VR and things like that. You know, it probably should, but I don't think it will be, and I don't think it would be a wise decision to do right now. It should just at this time be about you know, a good solid game that anybody can use, anybody can play. Make it playable on any platform as well, because a lot of people probably don't have super gaming rigs. So just make it very scalable. So really put the effort into making it scale so it looks beautiful if you've got a monster PC. Make it also very playable if you haven't, and that way you're then removing barriers to entry that I just think a lot of people potentially will have. There we go. So there we go. My train of thought completely tailed off there. There we go. Last one, victory. Sad times. It's kind of all over now, and I think it's going to be the dark days to come. The wind blows against the window. Sad times. So there we go. Post in the comments. Let me know how your last match went. I'd be really interested to know if it was a victory or a defeat. I think I should have ended on a defeat because then unfinished business and all that. But I think, yeah, just post in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. Are you happy? Are you sad? Does this really represent the end to you? Is this many people are not going to come to Nova, I imagine? So this is it. This could have been the final horn or sound or whatever. There we go. So I thought I'd just include one last little bit of footage. One more time, doing what I do every day when I log in is walking around my sofa. And I seriously do this when I'm waiting for a match or waiting for a gang. This is all I do. I just walk around because it's the last time and that's it. Sad times. So there we go. It's been a pleasure and an honour. See you in Nova.